Welcome to the 9 to 5 Kickers podcast, the show that ignites your entrepreneurial spirit by empowering like-minded, inspiring entrepreneurs to break free from the chains of the 9 to 5 grind. This power-packed show will bring you the latest tips, tricks, and tactical strategies to accelerate your transition from the traditional 9 to 5 job to a life of boundless possibilities. Join me, your host, Mr. Anthony Porter, when I sit down with a diverse array of aspiring entrepreneurs who have dared to dream big and set their sights on their financial freedom. So whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur, hungry for a fresh start, or a budding trailblazer ready to take that leap, the 9 to 5 Kickers podcast is for you. So get ready to kick that 9 to 5 financial freedom and join me each week on the exhilarating ride. Welcome to the 9 to 5 Kickers podcast, where dreams become reality and the 9 to 5 grind is left in the dust. You ready? Let's make this happen. Okay. All right, here we go. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the 9 to 5 Kickers. I am your host, Mr. Anthony Porter. In today's episode, I'm going to say this because I am really super excited. I'm stoked. I have a very special guest with me today. He reached out to me. Let me tell y'all something. It's funny because he reached out to me as I started promoting the podcast, and he said, "Hey, I want to be on." And I'm like, at first it wasn't going to be interviews on her, but then I got to thinking, what better way for the 9 to 5 Kickers to get out there and get other people's eyes on other people's businesses, other entrepreneurs out here, than to have these interviews. So when he reached out, I was like, man, this is the perfect cat to do this. He's world-renowned. He's an expert in his field in pest control. Today, we are at the Pest Control Chronicles. I have Mr. Christian Allen stepping in with me today. Christian, how you doing, my brother?
I'm well. How are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing super good, man. It's been a while. So for those who are new to the channel or really will be new to the channel, I met Christian about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. And I met him from football. And when I first met Christian, it was, you looked at him and he looked like the tech guy. But he had the knowledge that you wanted to see on the football field. But Christian was one of the hardest working young cats I had ever met. Because dude he would come to football practice, turn around and leave. He would go do jobs. He worked at SWAT team pest control. And he would be like, yep, gotta go. And I'll be looking at him like, where you going? And he'd be like, man, I'm going to work. And I'm thinking to myself, hold up, bro. You just did an exact 8 to 12 hours. You come to football practice and you're going to do it again? And he was like, yeah, gotta go. I'm out of here. And so really, Christian was the inspiration behind me buying a Jeep too. So a lot of people don't know that.
Jeep life.
Yeah, Jeep guy for life, I'm telling you. So Christian was the inspiration behind that. So Christian, I'm sure that the Pest Chronicles and everybody who's going to be tuning in or is tuning in want to know. Tell them a little bit about yourself, my guy.
Yeah, sure. I can't say too much. I just had a rock star intro, so it's going to be hard to follow that. But, like you said, we've met, I don't know, probably about 7 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. But, we were both football coaches at Moore. And, I've been in pest control for 10 years. I started working for, like you said, SWAT team pest control, was there for 9 years. And then it was time for me to leave, move on, and branch on to my own stuff. And so October 21 started Tailor-Made Pest Control. And so we're going on 2 years. It's a year and 9 or 10 months now. And things have been great. Things have been rock and rolling. We had a really good full year last year, and we're having a really good second year this year. Last year I hired an office person. This year I hired a tech. Next year I'll hire at least one person, maybe two, if things keep going as planned. But yeah, I love pest control. I love everything about it. Bugs, the critters, the equipment, the products, the chemicals. I mean, pretty much you name it. I fall in love with it. So, yep, it's a little bit about me.
Okay, so you touched on a point that is very dear to me because I always want to go back to the day that we was coaching down in Shawnee, and I think my truck was down, and I asked you to take me home. And actually, my truck was getting worked on. I said, Chris, can you drop me out? Like, sure, And that's the one thing I liked about Christian. Good day, bad day. Christian was always, positive. So get in his SWAT team van. Like, this cat had the van that was kitted out, but I heard this rumbling in the back. So me personally, I already know how Christian maneuvers, and so the other coaches, I said, hey, fellas, y'all not going to believe this, man. Dude got a raccoon back here, bruh. And so he pops it open, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to let him out into the wild. And I'm like, huh? Like, you called him and rode around with him, and then you said you're just going to let him out into the wild. I mean, like, Christian, like, some of the things that you used to do, it was hilarious. But I could tell in that moment that you enjoyed what you done or what you was doing. So I guess, the question for me is, and the question for the listeners is, what inspired you to want to go into pest control?
You'll be disappointed. There's no inspiration. It was, I was 21, no college degree, and just looking for a job. So I'm sure you remember, I'm not from Kentucky. So
Right.
I moved down here from New Hampshire just to work for SWAT. So I met Charlie, the owner, probably about 15 years ago now, at a class reunion. He and my dad went to high school together. And so out of the blue, one of his guys left the police academy, and he needed somebody. And my dad's like, well, Chris. So he asked if I wanted to come down here. I said, sure. So not knowing anybody, just moved down here, and now the rest is history. So to start, it was just a job. It probably took two or 3 years for me to get into it, and then finally really fall in love with it and enjoy it. But yeah, it was just a job. I don't think any little kid, little boy or girl grows up and be like, man, I just want to be a pest control operator one day. So, it's just one of those things that people need it. And it fills my cup. I get to help people. I get to meet new people. I get to experience new things, and I get to play with gadgets. So it works out great.
Right. Hey, but look, check this out. You'll be surprised. Like, you would be surprised that what people really think. Like, I really didn't think that I would be, working in sanitation or sanitary sewers. But once you start, like, it becomes something that you can really, home in on. And so when I sit back and I watch you, and I've watched you, like, literally, like, watched you maneuver, it's very important that for a person like me, and especially in the world that we're living in, pest control is very important because there are a ton of pests that are out here. Now, I've watched you over the last couple of months, the last year. I've seen you going down to the pest conventions and things like that. I've watched you go and get certified, because the one thing I can say about you is when you set your mind to do something, you do it. I have to give you credit on that. And that's one thing that inspired me when I first met you, because when you set your mind to wanting to be the best special teams coach, you took care of that. When you set your mind to doing and setting out to become an entrepreneur and being your own business owner, you did that. And so, first of all, I commend you, and I'm quite sure that our listeners will commend you just as well. But as we get into it, and, I guess the question is, being an entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur, that, like, what are you, 28, 29 now?
I wish. I'll take 28 again. I don't know how old I am. I think I'm like 31, 32. My wife would tell me at some point, but yeah.
So
30s, that's for sure. She reminds me of that every day because I tell her I was 29 again. So,
well, I tell you what, this is something I want to ask you. Be it the fact that you second year in, what sets you aside? What sets you apart from the competition? Like, what do you feel like that you bring to the table better than the rest?
well, that's a question everybody tries to answer, and it's hard to quantify all that because people um, call you and they don't meet you. So it's hard. Everybody says they're the best. Everybody says that they're going to take good care of you and all this jazz. But I guess what really sets us apart is going to be our communication. So that's something that you can experience without even meeting us. Because whether that's on social media, whether that's online, whether that's on our website, or after you call us or text us or email us or message us and start inquiring about services with us, we're going to be upfront. We're going to be honest. We're going to over communicate with you. We're going to make sure you know everything that's going on and about your pest issue, the services we're providing for you, the cost, and all that stuff. That's going to be well communicated multiple times so that there's no confusion. And if you have questions, we're going to answer all the questions that you have. But that's kind of what sets us apart. The other thing, we're urgent to get to you. So, we're trying to be same day, next day. Doesn't always happen. We try to answer our phones all the time. That doesn't always happen, but that's the main thing. We're going to get to you quickly. We're going to make sure you know what's going on. And, at the end of the day, it's all about having a pest-free home. And that's what we provide. We provide peace of mind by providing a pest-free home for you.
Okay. Hey, listen, you said anything. You have touched on a few points that I'm quite sure a lot of people have dealt with or will deal with, and that could help you stand out more with this side of your business. And the main one was communication. And so I've noticed, like, the more you communicate with people, the more you're upfront with them, the more you're honest with them, the more they appreciate you. And the one thing I can say, I will say this, and I'm not tooting your horn because you're sitting here or anything like that. The one thing I will say is this: you have always been a guy that's been straight up. You have always been a guy. You have always been a guy. Hey, you've told a couple people. I've heard you tell a couple people how you feel, but you have always been straight up, man. And I do have to say that that's one of the best things that drew my attention to you, because if you remember, when we all met, only people who knew each other was you and Stallings, and then I met all of y'all on the back end, but I knew Virgil and I knew Kevin. But myself, you, Jim, and Virg, we all clicked because we thought outside the box. And that's one thing I can say about you. You think outside the box. I've never seen, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen a person get excited to get gadgets. Like I would sit there, so I follow Christian on Instagram, And later on, we'll have Christian drop all his information. We'll even put it in the show notes for everyone to have. But I've never seen a person like literally sit at lunch. Like he would go to lunch and post a video about something new that he got. And then it'd be to the point where about 10 minutes later, I text him, and where you get that at? And he would tell me, I really, Amazon. And then I'd be like, bruh, like, you got all these packages. Yeah, I'm addicted. And he's just so nonchalant about how he did things. And so that's why I'm like, when he reached out, I was like, yeah, he got to be the first guest because this is my guy. All day long, this is my guy. He decided to not to coach no more because he started his own business. And as an entrepreneur, trust me, as an entrepreneur, it takes up a lot of time. Like I'm trying to juggle 5 different companies and work a 9 to 5. And so I commend him for that. But, I got to get down into it a little farther down there, Mr. Allen. So with that being said, with you buying all of these gadgets, how do you stay up to date with the latest advancements and, the tech world in pest control? Like, I know you have to go to these conferences, but tell the listeners what are some of the things that you have to keep up with?
Well, I mean, how do I know about all these gadgets? It's quite frankly Zuckerberg, Facebook ads. They get me every time. But you got to go to different conferences. You gotta have your continuing education credits. So you go to these different conferences to get your hours to stay certified and licensed, and they're always sponsored by all these different companies that make products or equipment or whatever the case may be. So they're always trying to sell you the latest and greatest things. And it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Every year it's the same thing. They got something new that they're going to push, and that's what they're going to tell you about, and that's what they're going to try to sell you. And so you have to weed through the good, through the bad, and figure out what's going to work for you and what works. So the good thing is over time you build personal relationships with everybody, and you start having connections, and then if you're active on social media like I am, they try to start sell things by giving you some things. So I get a lot of things. I get some things, not a lot of things, but some things for free, and I get to try it out and then make a post about it or a video. And good, bad, or ugly, it all gets posted up there. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. It's about going to these conferences, learning different things. There's different industry magazines out there that I read. And then, networking. Networking's huge. I know multiple companies here locally that I talk to on a daily basis, and then a lot of companies I talk around the U.S. So, they're trying something new. Mainly, it's me trying something new, and they reach out to me because they want to see what I think about it. But sometimes they have a good idea. They run across something I didn't find or see, and then I have to try it out. It's not a great hobby to have. It's not a great addiction to have. It's very costly. But it's fun. It's my hobby. Some people like to go hiking. Some people like to, go fishing or whatever. I like spending money on things that I may or may not use. So, it's what do they call it? Shopping therapy or something.
Yeah, it's definitely therapeutic. So, but you said one thing that really touched in, and I just want to say this for a guy who started out working for someone, and you probably built that relationship, that networking relationship with that company. As you got into your own journey for your business, Telemate Pest Control, I could tell that the influence portion of your life has really evolved because you said something that key, that people reach out to you. I don't know many companies that a year and a half in, 2 years in, or major companies are reaching out to them. So for you to have people reaching out to you, that speaks volumes of the networking skills that you have and the way that you present yourself. Because there are a lot of companies out here that behind the scenes, I don't know if now I'm quite sure people do. Let me say that. I'm quite sure that they do. Vendors will come in and speak to them, but be it the fact that you're a year and a half, 2 years in, and so far, like I said, your social media presence is immaculate, bro. And I love, first of all, I love the pest funerals. Those are funny. So I love the pest funerals. When the first time I seen one, man, and you had the customer on the porch with you doing a pest funeral, bruh, I about lost my load. I said, this cat here is hilarious. So I just want you to understand that, I have sat back and watched and have been so proud to say that I know this cat. And I tell people all the time, hey, look, you're tired of dealing with the major brands and you want somebody that's going to come through, holler at my boy Christian. He tailor-made pest control. They know how to, I tell them how to get to you. And I also tell them, look here, don't throw my name out there because you ain't getting no discount. It don't work like that. Because the one thing everybody they want the homeboy hookup. I'm not giving up nothing. My guy he's an entrepreneur and he is doing him. And so my thing is this, go see him. You ain't asking Gucci and Louis for a discount. Don't ask the pest guy from the Pest Control Chronicles for no discount. Get them bugs, get them roaches at your house.
There are the friends and benefit discount. The friends and family discount is always double what it actually costs.
Right.
So if it's $150, it's going to be $300.
Yeah. Hey.
We'll give you the regular price.
Exactly. So let me ask you this, man, because in your opinion, what is the most effective and eco-friendly approach to dealing with pest control? And I'm asking you this because I notice sometimes you might go into a situation where homeowners might have a small infestation and they have pets. And how do you work around it? Like, how do you prepare going into a situation like that?
Well, it's kind of like anything. It's kind of like coaching football. You have your different plays, you have your different tools, you have your different weapons per se that you can use, whether it's a fast guy, strong guy, small guy, big guy. So there's a lot of different things that I can do to kill your pest. And that's the one thing I do tell everybody. There's a million ways to kill that roach. And I have a way. Billy Bob over there has a way. They all work. It's just a matter of which one works best. And fortunately, in this day and age, most everything is pretty people and pet friendly when used according to the label. So it's about reading the label. It's about following the rules, the laws, and all that stuff, and not doing anything stupid. Like, you see pictures back in the day where there's somebody spraying a little girl's hair for lice with DDT, or, the kids, you see the mosquito fog truck running down the road and you see kids on their bicycles, riding behind it, thinking that they're getting a nice cool bath or whatever. So, people survived, I guess. People live to tell the stories of that, but we've become a lot more responsible as an industry. We have a lot of regulation, but we've become a lot more responsible in that it's a targeted approach. So it's not just spraying everything everywhere. It's inspecting. It's getting that chemical where the bug is. You got, a famous entomologist says you got to get the bug juice where the bugs are. And that's pretty much what we do. We get the bug juice where the bugs are, and where the bugs are, not necessarily where people and pets and kids are going to be at. Um, and so, that's about it. It's about knowing the stuff you're using, about knowing where you're going to put it, and then, just common sense is not so common, but it helps. It goes a long ways. Don't drink it. Don't eat it. Don't spray somebody's
Right.
water or Gatorade down with it. Little things like that. So far, I'm proud to say I haven't killed anyone or anything I haven't wanted to yet. So I've killed a lot of things, but we've had a lot of past funerals, but we haven't
Oh
had
yeah.
other thing funerals. So
I think
I'm proud of that.
I think I'm going to call my buddy over at Mr. Wave Tech Beats and have him drop some funeral music for you, so you can start having
You should.
past funerals.
You
So
should. Your
uh,
the Wave Tech beats are great. It has compliments on them, so we need some funeral music too. So
I'll reach out to him and let him know you need that funeral
sounds
music.
good.
So let me ask you this, because I know you're busy, probably prepping for tomorrow. You might have to run out tonight. So we're not going to hold you up too much longer, but I just got a couple more questions I want to get out there. And then we'll go, and then I'm going to let you go, man. I enjoy talking to you.
Look, I got all the time in the world for you. I heard Porter was doing an interview and told the wife, look, you know how Porter is. He likes to talk. So, it says it's 30 minutes, but, I'll see you tomorrow. So, but.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to tell you what's funny. Me and Verge was talking the other day, and he told me, he said, boy, you the only person I know who could disappear from a meeting. I said, yeah, and still be in the meeting. He's like, bro, you cold with it. But nah, I'm gonna hold it to it because you got to. So like I said, I got a few more minutes, and might go over 30, but maybe 5 or 10 minutes. But let me say this to you. I really want to ask you this. We talked about the gadgets, and I go back to that because I see in the world today there are a ton of new technology and new this and new that. So are there any emerging trends or any emerging technology that has come out that has interested you or has inspired you to fight some of these new age bugs? Like, listen, I've seen bugs running around the city of Louisville like, hey, humans. So I just want to know, are there any new age trends to help fight some of these, I guess I want to call them shop built bugs, because they probably look like they was migrated and grown in a lab somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Pest control seems to be behind a lot on technology and where the world's at, but there's a couple new things. There's a mosquito trap that has larvicide in there and creates a natural breeding spot for the mosquitoes to breed in. So the mother mosquitoes go in, lay their eggs, and then they hatch out, but they don't pupate into blood-sucking insects. So those are catching on. It seems like I went to a house yesterday where another company was using them. So that's always fun to see. I've been kind of pimping that out to everybody. And then something that hasn't really caught yet, I don't think, but I think will eventually as time goes on and maybe they get it cheaper, is Bluetooth rodent stations. I tell people all the time there's no barcode on a bug or a rat, so we can't tell where they came from. But now we can tell when the base station's visited, how many times, what times, and that it's going to give us data to be able to either up the frequency or be like, you don't have to come as often. It shows you when the feeding patterns are. So, everybody knows they're mostly nocturnal, but now you can actually see that with hardcore data. And so, that's the biggest thing is when you're trying to run a company is, baseball's got it figured out. So I'm trying to run my team, my company like a baseball team. They got batting averages, they got slugging percentages, ERAs. And so you got, as a business owner, you got to know your KPIs, your key performance indicators. And so, that's production, that's profit, that's, expenses, and how much you make per minute, per mile, per hour. So you got to know all these different things. And so having a bait station that can give you that type of data is able to help you further service that customer so they don't ever see a rat or a mouse again. So, those are the two biggest ones. There's definitely the big trend nowadays is the battery powered backpack sprayers. So, the spraying equipment has come a long ways from where we first started with a little silver canister and you had to pump it. So now it's battery powered, and the only thing you have to worry about is keeping your battery charged. So it can reach 30 feet in the air. You don't have to get on a ladder anymore to get a hornet's nest. So, there's lots of different things, but probably the backpack sprayer is the biggest one. That's the most popular thing that most everybody else is getting on board with. So it makes everybody's life easier.
Hey, listen, I'm just sitting here, I'm learning a lot because I'm a tech guy, but there's just certain fields that I just don't dabble in. And if I got a problem, I know who I'm calling. So we just gonna keep it all the way real. Like I've called before, and Johnny on the spot, you was there. I think everybody has called before, and that we're around in our circle, and you've been Johnny on the spot. And like I said, it's always been that you've kept it 100. You've kept it as real as you possibly could. And one thing I can say with your mind frame, you don't bite your tongue, my brother. I have to give you credit on that. You don't bite your tongue.
I've changed a little bit. I've learned you have to a little bit.
Well, maybe in the entrepreneur world, just a small amount. Yeah, I learned that too because I kind of get caught up with the way that I handle myself at work. So yeah, I had to change too. So I understand where you're coming from. So one more quick question, and well, yeah, I might pop one out. So finally, let me ask you this: what are your future goals? Like, I'm gonna ask you three questions all in one. So, what are your future goals and aspirations for yourself and your company? And do you have any advice for anybody starting in a business in your field, or maybe somebody who might join your team?
Yeah. So, goals and aspirations for myself personally. I want to be the face, even though I have an ugly face. I want to be the face of pest control industry. So, I want Christian Allen to be synonymous with pest control. When you think of bugs and you think of critters, I want you to think of my goofy ass. I'm doing that by, social media. Putting myself out there. So I'm an open book. People tell me don't post your numbers, don't say this, don't say that, and I post it anyways. So like it or love it. I'm gonna say things that you don't like. I'm gonna say things you do like. I'm gonna say things that piss you off. I'm gonna say things that make you sad, or whatever the case may be. But it's out there. It's kind of like back in the day, people used to write journals. I don't like writing, so I go to Facebook and YouTube and make a video or TikTok. And so it's chronicling where I came from to where I'm going to be at, to where I hope to be at. So I'm looking to be the face of an industry. I want to be able to travel the world, the country, and speak at other universities, other companies, meet other pest control people. I want to speak at different conferences and bug events. I want to partner with the University of Kentucky at some point to be the company that they use for their college studies on bed bugs and roaches and whatever else they want to study. So I want to be a part of that. That's kind of, it's kind of my goals. It's kind of where I want to be at. And so, slowly but surely, everybody's knowing who I'm at. I'm networking and meeting a lot of different people. I was just nominated, I think, for to be on the Kentucky Pest Management Association board. So that's going to be voted on the last Tuesday of July.
Congratulations.
So I think I'm pretty much a shoe-in for that. But yeah, it's just little things like that. It's meeting different pest control people, helping and then helping other people along the way for that. I'm long-winded. So goals for my company is I want, at some point, I'm going to have to sell this thing probably, or we have kids and I sell it to my kids and give them the friends and family discount on that, which is double the price. But yeah, it's eventually to sell. This is my retirement plan. I'm no longer paying into Social Security or whatever like that. So I'll have a super small Social Security check to collect from. So this is going to have to be my retirement. But until then, I want to grow this thing. I want to provide a living income for as many different Kentuckians as possible, or Indianians. So, for that to happen, we got to grow. So we can't be small forever. So we're looking to do millions of dollars in revenue a year. And so it's just to grow the company to where people have upward growth. The biggest thing that I don't want to see is I don't want to lose a person because they had to go be a branch manager for some other company. I don't want them to go be Orkin's branch manager. I have nothing against Orkin, but they have enough branch managers. I want us to have our own branch managers. And so if you want to become a manager, if you want to become technical director, whatever you want to be, I want my company tailor-made to be able to provide that opportunity for different people. And so the only way you do that is growing, making more money. So that's what we're trying to do. Hopefully we're on pace to hit 1 million by 2025. And so we're just quick growth is sometimes a good thing and it's a bad thing all at the same time. But that's the goals for personally me and then the company, TaylorMade, since we're two different entities. And then advice, pest control or any business is just do it. I've been playing with the idea for like 2 or 3 years before I actually did it, and I was content with where I was and didn't want to do it. But at the end of the day, I just did it. I had $2,000 in savings and no plan. I didn't have the right licenses to start out, so I just quit without having any plan. And it's probably the most backwards way to do it. But I didn't have any funding. I don't have any investors. It's just me and my credit cards and my credit scores that got us to where we are right now. And so now the company's starting to provide for itself and to reinvest into it. And so you just got to do it. You just got to put yourself out there. You just got to do it. And you're going to make mistakes. I make 1 million mistakes before 8 o'clock. So I make mistakes when I'm sleeping. I make mistakes when I'm eating lunch. I make mistakes doing a lot of things. As long as you learn from your mistakes, the mistakes aren't bad. And more times than not, it's not going to be a life-threatening, a business-ending threatening decision. So you just got to be able to pivot quickly. You got to be able to just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. And then, yeah, it's pretty much just do it. And, it's that same way with social media. I post a lot of pictures, a lot of videos, and people are like, man, you just know how to do all this stuff. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I'm just learning how to do it. And I'm just doing it. And so I can see from when I first started to where I am now, it's a lot better, but still not perfect. Don't let perfection be the enemy of good. Good enough is good. So good enough pays the bills. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You have to pay bills. Don't kill yourself trying to be perfect because nobody's perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. And if you're trying for perfection, it's never going to happen. And so that's the biggest advice to anybody and anything, starting a business, doing your job, whatever the case may be. Just, don't let perfection be the enemy of good.
Hey, man, you said a mouthful right there. Even if I wasn't doing this right now, going into a business, just the things you just said about perfection, that's what has kept me from doing this many moons ago. I'm such a perfectionist, you know that. when it come to football, I was a perfectionist. Like we could have 150 solo tackles and I still wanted 300. And we knew we wasn't going to get 300, but I had the kids believe in that. And just listening to you talk about the pest game, the way that it's evolving and how you jumped out there on a whim. See, that's bootstrapping to me. And that's how most companies that can be successful and have been successful have started. Like, I've done my research to find out that one of your favorite companies, Jeff Bezos from Amazon, he literally started in the garage. I mean, like, can you imagine starting your company that is now worth trillions of dollars in a garage?
And he didn't even start it. Like, he started as a bookstore.
Right. And
it's completely pivoted to now.
That's crazy.
I mean, gosh, everything we get from Amazon now.
I just ordered from Amazon. Matter of fact, I
just got 3 Amazon packages. I don't know what I ordered, but we got something.
You sound like me because I got some stuff. I had something come yesterday. I got something to come today. I got something coming Monday. And I turned around and what did I order? I looked at the wife.
Like Christmas every day.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Hey, so Christian, I thank you, man. I appreciate you, bro. Like, you have been, this has been one of the, I was super nervous, man. I was super hyped because I had looked at the emails because I had been working all morning. And one thing I tell a lot of people is if you're a business owner, you got to understand everything's always going to be your fault, no matter what. If the employees don't get there on time, it's your fault. You didn't wake up on time, it's your fault. So, I mean, everything is always your fault. So I was working this morning, working on some content for the not the podcast, but for the YouTube channel. And I went in my emails and I said, did Christian just respond? Because I think I just sent that to you yesterday. And I said, so I'm running around the house now, like, oh, I got to get ready. I got to do this. I got to make sure I send him this. I got to make sure I send him that. And, just so he'll be ready. And then I'm sitting around and I took a quick cat nap and set my alarm clock and woke up and was like, it's time. And it has been an honor, man. Like, I appreciate you being the first guest. I really do appreciate that. I've learned a lot. I hope the listeners have learned a lot. Before we get out of here, though, man, can you please tell the people how they can reach you, all of the good stuff that they need to know, social media, all of that. And then when it's done, before we put the show out there, I'll make sure that we get the links and we can upload everything so they can always click on it. And, just let them know how they can get in touch with TaylorMade Pest Control and Mr. Christian Allen.
Yeah, so we're super findable, or that's what I try to make it anyway. So you can follow me on Facebook. I'm Christian Pest Control Allen. You can find me on LinkedIn, Christian Pest Control Allen. You can find me on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram. And that's the Pest Influencer, at Pest Influencer. And then for the business, everything is TaylorMade PC. So Pest Control, TaylorMade Pest Control, LinkedIn's TaylorMade Pest Control. Oh, I'm on Nextdoor too. Nextdoor, I'm Christian Allen, and Nextdoor, we're TaylorMade Pest Control. It might have LLC on the back of it. But Instagram, Twitter, TikTok is at TaylorMade PC. And you can email me at christian@taylormadepestcontrol.com. You can call me, text me. Number is 502-219-4688. If you call, my extension's 101, but you can also text that number too. I think that's all we're on right now. We might be on other stuff too, but that's the main one: Facebook, Instagram. Oh, we're on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. You can follow the journey in the journey. It's no longer the journey in the journey, but we're going to still roll with that name because I can't figure out a journey in the equinox, or can't figure out a cool name yet. But the channel is where you can see all my cool gadgets and see how well or bad we're doing as a business. The YouTube channel is Pest, Tech, and the Pursuit of Happiness. And we came up with that name because I deal with pests. I love tech. And at the end of the day, you got to be happy. So
Right.
we always try and be happy. And then on YouTube for pest or for TaylorMade, it's TaylorMade Pest Control on YouTube too. And so the number I gave you is the business number. Got a pest problem, you can reach out to us there or on Facebook or wherever we're at, or on Google and all those different places. Email for the business at info@taylormadepestcontrol.com. So yeah, that's it, man.
Christian, man, I appreciate it, bro. Like, I really do. And I'm quite sure that my listeners will appreciate this because, you know, everybody's got a pest problem. Somebody in the world has a pest problem. There's a wasp, bee, cockroach, ant somewhere around that they can reach out to TaylorMade Pest Control. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of my very first interview, man, and I'm so proud because this is my guy. And, you know, the one thing that in the podcast industry that they said is reach out to your friends. Well, I just so happened had a friend that reached out to me, and he just probably gave y'all about $250,000 worth of game. He gave y'all $250,000 because that's a lot of information out there. Whether you want to start a business, whether you want to be in the business, all the new stuff that's going on. Hey, he just gave you $250,000 worth of game. So with that being said, hey, let's give Christian a round of applause. I want to thank Christian for coming out and joining us today on our journey, the 9 to 5 Kickers, where we are empowering like-minded individuals to kick their 9 to 5 and take that journey to become their own successful entrepreneur. Christian, again, my brother, I appreciate you, man. Oh, one more thing before you go. I got to get you and James on the show.
Okay.
We got to talk about we got to